What if the sanctuary where Abraham Lincoln drafted the Emancipation Proclamation still carries the weight of his grief, and maybe even his ghost? Today, we're going undercover at President Lincoln's cottage, where history, heartbreak, and hauntings converge. The mission almost fell apart before it began. My first rental car evaporated due to unforeseen circumstances. Thanks, Murph. Luckily, another company came through after a tense scramble that cost me precious daylight. With keys finally in hand, I set course for the top priority target, Lincoln's cottage. Just when I thought I'd caught a break, federal security. ID taken, plate number logged, and strict instructions. Cottage only. Step outside those lines, and I'd be trespassing on federal property. Noted. And yet, he didn't say anything about photos. Camera in hand, I marched toward what I thought was the cottage. Turns out, I was recording the visitor center. Not my finest covert op, but hey, at least it gave me a clean cover story. Souvenirs in hand, I joined the tour. That's when the guide reminded me, no photos inside the cottage. None at all. Which of course meant one thing. Operation Silent Study was now officially in play. In the sweltering summers of 1862 through 1864, the White House felt more like a war room than a home. Lincoln needed refuge. Perched on one of D.C.'s highest points, this Gothic revival cottage became his seasonal retreat. Just 3 miles, but a world away from the chaos downtown. Every morning, he rode on horseback past contraband camps of self-emancipated men and women, overflowing military hospitals, and cemeteries filling by the day. These daily journeys grounded him in the human cost of war, shaping his resolve. It was here, in this quiet refuge, that Lincoln drafted the Emancipation Proclamation. A decision he said carried his whole soul. These walls held not just a president, but a man reshaping the nation's destiny. But even in this sanctuary, sorrow seeped in. Just months before their first summer here, the Lincolns lost their beloved son Willie to typhoid fever. Mary turned to seances for solace, while Abraham carried grief as heavy as the war itself. Inside the cottage, subtle clues survive. Fragments of hand-painted wallpaper, marks on the study walls where his bookshelves once stood. Windows so large they could flood the room with air or dread silence. These massive sash windows, original. They were designed to swing open and let the night breeze in when the weight of the day was too much. In his study, I could almost feel the weight of his choices pressed into the very plaster. This wasn't a monument. It was a man's private struggle laid bare. Now let's talk about the energy that lingers here. The tour guides won't give you ghost stories, but people whisper about chills, sudden silence, even the feeling of being watched. Is it just the creaks of a 19th century house? Or something deeper? An emotional residue from the grief, the sleepless nights, the burden of saving a fractured union. Some say Lincoln's ghost roams the White House, but I wonder, could part of him still linger here, where he wrestled not just with history, but with heartbreak? Today, the cottage stands restored, part museum, part memorial. The adjacent soldiers' home still serves as a retirement community for distinguished veterans, living history, sharing ground with memory. I couldn't walk the cemetery, but I carried that silence with me. This site felt less like a tourist attraction and more like sacred ground, a place where history, service, and sacrifice are layered together. I only wish Dusty had been here with me. Knowing us, we'd have found some way to test the line between tour and trespass. This was Operation Silent Study, Episode 3 of TMP Covert Ops. If Lincoln's Quiet Refuge struck you the way it did me, hit that like button, subscribe for more backroad stories, and share your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes the most powerful echoes aren't in the battlefields or monuments. They're in the quiet places where a man, a father, a president sat with his ghosts.